Everything you own fits inside a single backpack. Your ID, your phone, your medication, the last photo of your kid. You fall asleep on a sidewalk in Fort Worth, and according to a study of 150 homeless women in that city, you have a 57% chance of waking up to find something stolen. That's not a guess. That's a peer-reviewed survey. But thousands of people on the street manage to protect their belongings every single night using methods that would impress a combat veteran. So how do you guard everything you own while you sleep? Here's the thing about theft on the street. In the general housed population, fewer than 11% of Americans report losing anything to theft in any given year. For homeless people sleeping outside, that number jumps to over 50%. And the stuff getting stolen isn't luxury goods. It's identification cards, phones, medications, and sleeping bags. And the consequences cascade fast. Lose your ID and you can't get into a shelter. Can't apply for food stamps. Can't prove who you are at a job interview. Can't board a Greyhound bus to leave town. A survey of homeless people in Austin found that roughly 1 in 3 had their identification taken or stolen at some point during their time on the street. One theft doesn't just set you back a day, it can erase months of progress overnight. A study from the UK found that 78% of rough sleepers had been victims of crime during their most recent stretch of sleeping outside, but only 21% reported those incidents to police. The theft is constant, the reporting almost non-existent, and the consequences brutal. So the first line of defense is not a lock or a camera. It is your own body. Thread one leg through the handle straps of your backpack and sleep with it pinned underneath your knees. If someone tries to slide the bag out, they are pulling your entire lower body with it, and you will wake up instantly. This is the single most common protection technique used by rough sleepers worldwide, and it costs absolutely nothing. Veteran street dwellers take it further. They position themselves in doorways or against walls so they can only be approached from one direction. Valuables like cash, phones, and medications go inside clothing layers, tucked into a bra, a zipped inner pocket, or the coin pocket of tight jeans. Never in the backpack itself. The bag is the decoy. The important stuff is on your body. Sleeping bags add another layer. Stuff smaller items deep inside the sleeping bag, at your feet, or wrap near your torso. A thief would have to physically enter the bag to reach them, and nobody is attempting that without waking you. One formerly homeless writer in Seattle described placing a plastic cake container from a grocery store on top of his valuables each night, because the rigid plastic crackles loudly under any pressure. A crude motion alarm built from trash cost him $0. But your body can only protect what you can carry. And for people with more belongings than a single backpack, the system scales up. Wrap the shopping cart in plastic shrink wrap so nothing can be quickly grabbed from inside. Then tarp it. Then shrink wrap the tarp. Then run a chain through the bottom bars of the cart and padlock it to a fence post, a bike rack, or a park bench bolted to concrete. It looks like overkill until you remember that cart contains literally everything that person owns. Clothing, blankets, legal documents, keepsakes, medication. People also hide belongings in bushes, behind fences, and deep in wooded areas where only they know the location. Some spots get used for months. Others get discovered and raided within days. It is a constant game of concealment and relocation. For people sleeping in vehicles, the security equation changes completely. A set of secondary steel deadbolts installed on the inside of your van doors costs $5 to $15 and prevents someone from opening the door even if they pick or break the factory lock. Some vehicle dwellers chain the cab doors together from the inside using eye bolts and a padlock, so neither door opens independently. A floor-mounted safe bolted into the van frame holds documents, cash, and electronics for about $50. Battery-powered motion sensor alarms like the CPVN unit cost under $30 and will scream if someone opens a door while you are sleeping. Tinted windows prevent anyone from seeing valuables inside. A running max air fan and a softly playing radio signal that the vehicle is occupied even when you are asleep. But the real vehicle security trick costs nothing at all. If you hear someone testing your door handle at 3 in the morning, bang on the interior wall as hard as you can. Yell something. Hit the panic button on your key fob. Vehicle break-in artists are almost always scanning for empty ones. The second they realize a person is inside, they disappear. Van life forums overwhelmingly agree on this point. Making noise is the single most effective deterrent that exists. But not everyone has a vehicle or even a shopping cart. Protecting belongings during the day when you need to move around the city is an entirely different problem. That's where city storage locker programs come in. Austin launched the Violet KeepSafe storage program in 2020, converting a parking garage downtown into a facility with hundreds of purple bins, each with its own lock. The facility is open 7 days a week, from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. You show up, get assigned a bin, and your belongings stay locked while you go to a doctor's appointment, a job interview, or just walk around without dragging everything you own behind you. Portland runs a similar day storage program that holds items for up to 30 days. In Minneapolis, the Downtown Community Storage Program offers free storage for an unlimited amount of time, with no identification required. In Chicago, the Youth Storage Initiative has funded and installed over 750 storage units at 22 sites across the city, including phone charging lockers at shelters where young people can lock up their devices overnight and actually wake up with a fully charged phone. Before those lockers were installed, phones were getting stolen regularly and fights were breaking out in shelters over charging spots. If you're finding this useful, hit subscribe. I cover survival and hidden systems like this every week. Storage solves the daytime problem, but at night, when you are sleeping, the only real security system is other people. Encampments develop their own watch systems. Tents get arranged in circles or tight clusters with belongings stacked in the center, creating a natural barrier that no one can access without being seen. People take informal shifts, staying awake or sleeping lightly, keeping an eye on the group's belongings. New arrivals are watched carefully for weeks before they are trusted. Trust networks build slowly, and the consequences for stealing within an encampment are enforced by the community itself. A report from the National Health Care for the Homeless Council noted that encampments can offer community, safety, security, and self-governance not available in shelter settings. A 2018 study of 12 encampment sites in Portland and Seattle found that crime actually decreased in 5 of the surrounding neighborhoods after the encampments were established. Now, every method I've described so far has the same hidden cost, and it's the one that almost never gets discussed in survival content. You can't guard your belongings while you're in deep sleep, so you never fully enter deep sleep. Medical experts have classified sleep deprivation among homeless people as an unrecognized problem that feeds the exact cycle keeping people on the street. A study from UCSF Zuckerberg San Francisco General Hospital found that hypervigilance over threats to safety was a primary factor in sleep impairment among homeless older adults. Losing just 1 to 2 hours of sleep per night over several consecutive nights impairs your cognitive function as severely as not sleeping at all for a day or two. That means missed job interviews because you overslept after being up half the night. Missed housing appointments because your brain could not process the reminder. Missed medication schedules because your memory is running on fumes. Domestic violence survivors experiencing homelessness describe the calculus explicitly. The safest time to sleep is during the day because you need to be aware of your surroundings at night. That's hypervigilance from trauma, layered on top of hypervigilance from the street. Two engines of sleeplessness running at the same time. And that's exactly why the smartest new solutions focus on eliminating the trade-off between shelter and security entirely. A nonprofit called Backpack Bed distributes a 6.6-pound backpack that rolls out into a full sleeping shelter with a built-in insulated mattress, a mosquito net, and lockable zippered pockets. It is distributed through over 40 homeless agencies across the country. The Shelter Suit Foundation in the Netherlands has produced over 6,000 units of a waterproof jacket that zips into a full sleeping bag at night, with oversized pockets to store belongings and an oversized hood to block streetlights. All made from upcycled tent fabric and sleeping bag material. And the Homeware Project builds hard-shell backpacks from recycled water bottles with a 4-watt solar panel on top that charges your phone while you walk. The backpack locks with a double zipper system and includes a sleeping bag, a flashlight, a hygiene kit, and a foldable tent. Every one of these products is built around the same principle. Your shelter and your security system should be the same thing. If your belongings are inside the thing, keeping you warm, protecting your stuff and protecting your body is one action, not two. So, what does all of this look like for one person on one night? Scout a spot with a wall at your back and sight lines in front. Position your backpack under your head with one strap threaded through your leg. Tuck your phone and ID into your inner jacket pocket. Wrap your sleeping bag tight around anything you can't afford to lose. Listen for footsteps. Sleep light. Wake early. Total cost of the entire system, roughly $17. A $5 padlock, an $8 chain, and a $4 roll of shrink wrap. Plus years of survival knowledge that nobody teaches and everyone on the street eventually learns. The average American goes to sleep at night behind a locked door, a deadbolt, and maybe a security camera. These folks go to sleep behind a backpack strap and the hope that tonight isn't the night someone takes everything. That kind of awareness every single night deserves a lot more respect than it usually gets. If you want to see how people experiencing homelessness cook entire meals without a kitchen, that video is on screen right now.